talk about in this short lesson may surprise you, but hopefully you will see the point once we've gone through the next couple of slides and we've talked a little bit about how academic writing doesn't necessarily mean boring or hard to understand writing. If you're in any of my classes, you may have already seen this or a version of this lesson before. If you have, I encourage you to stick around and watch it again. It's only going to be a few minutes long, but I think it's an important idea to grasp. So those of you who have not heard of Scheherazade have at least certainly heard about the Arabian Nights. And in Middle Eastern mythology, Scheherazade was the woman who invented the stories that eventually became the Arabian Nights. And long story short, it essentially saved her life. She was so good at storytelling. Well, this is not a life or death matter in this case. However, there are things about telling a story that we can and should apply in our compositions for college level writing, and that's what we're going to talk about. Why would I bring up Stephen King in a lesson about academic writing? Well, I do it because the academic paper that I'm using as the basis for this lesson brought him up. And essentially all he's saying is a good story is important to any kind of writing or any kind of public speaking. And the way you do that is to create humanness in your writing, and that's through telling a story. And telling a story doesn't mean you make something up. It simply means, and I'll talk about this more in the final slide coming up, but you go from one idea to another and you do it in a way that connects to the human side of the reader. That's all we're talking about here. So the authors of the paper that I am basing this lesson on suggest three approaches, and I agree with these. These are simple, but can be very powerful in taking boring, dry, academic writing and turning it into something that is worth reading and engages with the reader. First of all, I talked about this already. Establish a connection to the humanness of your reader. Give your paper, even if it's a hardcore research paper, even if you're writing a thesis. I wrote 60 plus pages for a graduate thesis, but I included people and stories in that thesis to help make my points going beyond just hard data and research. So give it a human feel. Keep it moving. For some classes, you're going to be writing just a 5-paragraph, 500 to 800 word essay. For some other classes, you may be writing up to 1,500 words. For public speaking, you are going to be speaking probably 5 to 7 minutes. In any of those situations, keep it moving. Have a beginning, have a middle, have a clear and powerful and unmistakable closing. And then, again, whether you're speaking or writing, give your audience an idea that they're making progress by using titles and subtitles that are descriptive and say what's coming next. These can be helpful in creating a sense of transition. Also, when the eye looks at a page and all it sees is one long paragraph, our inclination is, this is going to be a heavy lift. All it takes is breaking that into a couple of paragraphs, adding a subtitle, Adding in some shorter sentences makes all the difference in the world, and speaking is the same way. Add in a little change of pace from time to time. If you do just these things, there are other ways to go about writing better, and I have other lessons on that. But if you do these things and incorporate techniques of storytelling into both your writing and your speaking, your audience is going to appreciate it.